Where will you be? You'll be.
I don't know where I'll be. I recognize you. So who's that ex-employee right there? Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Congratulations.
You ain't shrunk none.
No.
Still rolling?
I'm not going
I gotta
that
start
direction.
hitting harder when I hit on top of it, I guess.
Just get down your knees for her to do that.
I ain't doing that shit. It's hard enough. You stand
Does
up.
she? I'm Mr. Layman. What's up? Long time no see. I joined your club finally.
Mr. Ronnie, it's so good to see you.
Good. Right.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you. Right now I'm on extended vacation, so I can hit me just
Right.
good.
It takes
Good. I'm just you come see my hug. Hey, young lady.
Hi there.
Good.
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good.
That is wonderful.
Enjoy.
It's great.
Join your club. Long time no see.
Oh, good to see
Hey,
you.
you doing good, my friend? I'm good. Good. Give me my hug.
Do they have a table in there for cards?
I'm not sure. I'll take you to Sharon.
Okay. It's good to see you. As Bud Hodgson told us, and I'll tell you.
Reverend. I'll go that
Very
You guys came down.
Boy, you're looking good.
Well, thank you.
I ain't telling you.
I need one of them
Oh,
Georgia.
your neighbor.
Oh, my neighbor.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
you're not here. Hey, you're not here.
Things got changed.
hanging out. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Barry. Hey, young lady. Looking good. Thank you very much. Hey, my friend. Doing all right? Good, good. Next part. I'm on extended vacation right now.
Absolutely.
See you guys. Thank you very much.
Goes up.
Okay.
Got something we gotta show you. Excuse me.
Sure you didn't hear it. I had to look good for my last showing.
Hello, son.
Hey, son. Hey, we own television.
I'm gonna find y'all a place to roost.
Papa, how you doing?
I do good. You do good?
Doing good. I can't complain. Good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nanny, how are you?
Hey, Hunter. How you go?
It's good to see you.
Good. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm doing good. How are you?
You know, some people can't drive in the fall.
Were they doing a controlled burn or something? That was like smoke coming in.
No, I think it's fog.
Just fog?
My phone says we got gnats over here already.
Y'all brought them with you?
Yeah, Jennifer don't have that.
How are y'all doing?
We do good. If you get any better, we'll be able to take it.
That's good.
I think good.
I can't believe you're
Give me a hug. I joined your club. I joined your club.
Good for you. About time. Glad to get to see you, man.
Same here.
You liking it?
I'm on extended vacation right now. You hadn't hit me just yet.
All right. It takes a bit, right?
Maybe about 10 years it'll catch up with me.
Good for you. That's good.
That was good. Nice seeing you.
Good seeing you too, brother.
Yeah.
How you doing,
Give me
sir?
a hug. Good to see you guys. Hey, young lady.
How are you
Good. I'm glad you guys came. Brought Miss Laney with you.
She's excited.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you're excited.
I am.
Oh, sorry.
I sure am.
You get to do any traveling?
Oh, no.
Not yet, huh?
No traveling. Well, what are you doing?
I ain't never seen you all dressed up. I said.
Just let me look in the casket.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't say that. Please don't say that. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Hey, young lady. Long time no see. I'm out here in neck of the woods now.
Is Amber here?
Brandon County. Yeah.
You're a break? Oh, Lord.
Here in Waynesville.
I better move. It's like
You two look great.
thank you.
This place is packed in there.
It's getting there.
Hey there. It's good to see you.
Good to see
Good to
you.
see y'all.
Yeah, but we came down just for this.
Hey, Shauna.
Awesome. That's why I keep you around.
Here comes Shauna. Sorry you had to wait so long.
Need a trash can.
Actually, I was
I'm just drinking something's best.
Oh, this is.
get out the squirrel killer. And no, yeah, they did.
Sure he was here. He's the one that gave me the name. So how you enjoying your time?
Well, my friend.
Aren't you nice and sporty? How you doing?
How you doing, lady? I just wanted to let y'all know how to look in the casket. So.
Oh, stop. Stop.
I want to dress up that in that.
Glad you guys came down.
We are too.
Do I pick you?
You can do whatever you want to do. Since you're from Canada, you can do whatever you want to do.
How's Ronnie doing?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good.
You happy now you had a free mind?
Yep, free. Only got one boss now. That's Sue Ellen.
Long may that continue.
How'd you do?
haven't grown an inch.
Where's the other half at?
Yeah, you have to come down.
Good.
Hey, I'm looking forward to this.
Good. Amber's going to roast me good.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit taste of what it used to be, I suppose. I don't know.
She got 17 years worth of stories.
That's right. So, and Judy is
Hello,
glowing.
Mark.
You all right? You all right?
Well, you go. Let's find
Said
out.
you guys were able to make it.
Yeah, we almost did it. Well, not that we didn't, but I had a little health issue and stuff like that. When we got here, we decided to go in. We were by Sunrise. I seen everybody over there eating. I'm like, well, we're going to go to Fabrizio's.
It's not.
Not a good choice on a Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Trivia
night.
night. So after we sat there for 20 minutes with our teas, we were
With
like,
Doug and them.
all right, we got to go.
Congratulations, Ronnie.
Same easy to you. Hey, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you guys can come down.
Glad to come.
Good.
Talking to her about Dave, he's going to the Air Force Academy.
How's Matt doing?
He's doing good.
Well,
Look at this guy.
look at this. I gotta look good for you guys.
You're looking spiffy.
Thank you. It's a donation. There.
No.
Still got the map.
No.
I still got it. Yep.
God bless
We're
it.
gonna try to find a seat here. How are you?
How you doing, my friend?
You doing all right?
Yeah.
Been a long time.
6 foot. 15?
Yes.
I know Gage turned 15 in December, and he loves the fact that he can come up behind me and put his chin on top of my head. He's like 6'2". I'm like,
Yeah, Avery would be here. She's got her softball evaluation tonight. So
oh yeah?
her and Mom's at the ball field at North Glen out there for evaluation.
I wore my Marine Corps logo somewhere.
You'll have to be specific.
Yeah, boy,
Probably my husband for him right now.
you really do.
Good.
Little
No shrimp. Over here's a big
I'll hug you just like that.
Uh-huh.
And she said to give you a kiss on the cheek, but we will do. So that's from her. She wrote you a handwritten letter. And then this is from Amanda. She said she's sorry she can't make it, but she just got off work and Cadence and their kids. So anyway, so she said she'd see you another time.
Good.
So.
Okay, hello. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Apparently we're ready to get started. I thought we was waiting. All right, so I've got lots of stories to share, but I'm sure a lot of you do too, and we want to hear them. We're going to have microphones walking around so you don't have to get up and walk up here, and you can tell all the old lies you know on Ronnie, because you know there are some. I remember when he first called me to ask me if I would speak at his party today, and I said, well, yeah, of course I will. You know, I'm honored to do that. He told me, start working on your speech. I said, shit, I've been writing that for 15 years. I never thought I'd see the day that he'd actually retire. I knew one day I'd be seeing him in one of those scooters like Miss Keller had. Site check. So I started here, it was back in 2003. If you can think back that long, Ronnie still had hair on top of his head and a lot less gray. I did that. But I remember the first day I come out here it was September 2003. I come out here. My dad worked on the island actually, and he told me that Ronnie was looking for some part-time help. I needed a job. So I come up here and I walk into the store, and a few of you might remember Lenora. That was way back in the day. I walk in, Lenora was the only one working, because back then you can get away with just one person. And I said, hey, I'm Amber, I'm here to see Ronnie. And she says, just one moment. And she sat there and finished her solitaire game. She gets on a little radio and she calls Ronnie, and he says, well, I'm at D7, send her over. There was a big storm, I think, just come through. He was out there cleaning. Y'all, this man, first time I ever met him, had on camouflage pants, a red Marine Corps t-shirt, a Devil Island hat with those clip-on sunglasses, and they was flipped up. And I call them Jesus sandals. And I'm thinking, I should probably run. I didn't know what I was getting into. He sat there, he asked me a bunch of questions, and he says, well, go on in there and fill out an application, I'll give you a call. Okay. A month later, he calls, and he offered me the job, and then his world got brighter. But some of you might remember from back in the day how Ronnie and I communicate. It wasn't very nice, but I gave way worse than he ever did, so don't feel sorry for me or him. He's old enough, he can take it. But no, we got along real good for a little while. It didn't take long. It didn't take long for it to start. And I remember we'd get new employees in, and I'd have to tell them, listen, you won't hear me and Ronnie fight. Just ignore it. We'll be fine. You know, we're still good. And a couple of them would get real freaked out. Now one girl even left because she said, I can't believe it. You're going to get fired. I should have gotten fired several times over. Several times. But he hung in there. I think it's because he's so stubborn. That's the only explanation I can come up with. God knows he's stubborn. I know, right? I know. But some of you have seen Ronnie's softer side, which he does have one. He does have one. I'm going to tell you something you don't know. Y'all remember when some of you remember I was pregnant with my first kid with Gage, I was big as a house, literally. And I had to stop working like 3 weeks early because I was so big I couldn't get around no more, and I literally couldn't put on my shoes. Not that I had any that fit. So I stopped working 3 weeks early, and then he decided to come late. So I ran out of maternity leave very early. Ronnie donated 100 hours of his own sick leave just so I can still get a paycheck and stay home with my son. It does, and it wasn't long after before that happened even, I remember I was upset one day and he says, what's wrong? I told him, I said, well, I just kind of miscalculated some things and I don't got enough gas to get home. Without thinking, he had his wallet open, hands me a handful of cash and said, is that enough? Never asked me for it, never held it over my head that he ever gave me any money. He is a sweet guy and he does have a sweet side, even though he don't like to show it very much. But hey, how y'all doing? If you can't get here on time, just get here when you can.
We know where you live.
I ain't there. I ain't there. But there were also times that wasn't so sweet. There was some bad ones. But we both had it coming. We were stubborn, hard-headed. I forgot where I was going with that. Just stubborn and hard-headed. That was both of us. Sometimes you could even hear us yelling outside, really. I think that just became our normal, was the arguing and the bickering and the back and forth because he was determined to do it his way. I was damn well determined to do it mine. I wasn't going to give in and neither would he. But eventually, we'd come together and figure it out and everything would be okay until the next day. Until the next day, because it's the next day when everything would change. Back then, we used to could listen to music at work, Michelle. We could actually listen to music at work. And we parked in the back here. And I remember days I'd come in and I would hear Ronnie's radio from his office. And y'all, he wasn't listening to, Tom Petty or AC/DC, it was the Pussycat Dolls or Shania Twain or something like that. And I think, this is going to be a great day. Great day. He'd be in a good mood.
Cody misses you and sends a message.
Oh, he has a message?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
He said he misses you.
Well, I miss him too. I have to go back there and see him.
Okay.
That's what I used to do. They've got their dog Cody buried in the back there. From how long ago was that?
Years.
It's been years. I'd get mad. I'd have to go outside and just go talk to the dog about it sitting in the grave because I was too mad.
She said when she couldn't talk to Ronnie, she'd go back and talk.
That sounds about right.
Ronnie and I buried him there. It was a big box and we had to dig a big hole.
Big hole.
Yeah, big hole.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I'd come out there. There's several days I come out. I remember one time I come out and there was we had just, God only knows what we argued about. But there was just like J.A. was out in the backyard working and he says, oh, you look mad. What'd Ronnie do? I said, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine because you may have been an asshole, but you was my asshole. Welcome, come on in. All right, so I'm going to take a break. Don't worry, I've got more. It's going to be fine. Because I know some of y'all got some stories, and I know I want to hear them. So who wants to go first? Don't all jump at once. Come on up.
Ronnie, I'm sorry. Be nice.
Put in this pocket. I'm not one of the winter campers. I'm trying. I'm gonna be there one day. I met Ronnie Douglas in 1976.
Tell me who you are.
Oh, I'm Danny Hickey. And I know my family's right here. Well, she don't admit it, but anyway. Ronnie was on leave from the Marines. And I'm going to tell y'all, he had the prettiest flat top. And it had color. And me and his baby brother, as I call him, he was only an inch shorter than you. about the same height. Anyway, Ronnie's brother and me were in the band at Glen Academy together, and we're still best friends. But Ronnie came by and had never met him before. And man, he'd come up there, and I'm telling y'all, he had a big chest and a skinny waist and the prettiest flat top you ever. And Steve introduced me to him. I said, "How you doing, Bristles?" Boy, that made him so mad. And back then I was fast. He chased me all around that campus. He never caught me. But his mom and dad are here tonight, in case y'all don't know. Good people out here. Mr. Douglas, as I call him, Lloyd Douglas, he retired from running the convention center over here. How many years ago?
30 years.
30 years ago. Now I have a brother that had a balloon business, decorating, did parties and all this kind of stuff, and he worked real close with Mr. Douglas. And when Mr. Douglas left, it took 3 people to replace him. So I gotta ask this young lady here, is it gonna take 3 people to replace Ronnie?
Probably more.
Oh, but see, it runs in the family. But anyway, he's a good guy. We've had the pleasure of camping over here over the years. Always, this is Southern hospitality right here. And we're proud to see you retire and hope to have many years of good retirement like your dad and mom did, And hey, you bet. Good deal.
I gotta have somebody walk me up there. Thank you, dear. Okay, I haven't got anything to say about Ronnie ugly because I lost all the damn fights I ever had with him. So I'd report him to Jones, and Jones would say, "You talking about Ronnie?" And I'd say, "Yes." He said, "Forget it." But I do have one about Elliot. No, it's a good one, Elliot. It's a good one. We are here, we've been coming for 152 years. And we're right now up there in a campground, a campsite that's very hard to get into. So when Ronnie found out we were coming to that site, he said, "Well, I'll send Elliot up to get you in it because it has trees all over it." And sure enough, there was Elliot waiting for us. This is year before this one. So we got up to the spot, and Elliot lined us up, and he said, "Do this and do that and do that." And we were in. I mean, just one little swipe, and Elliot had us right in there. So this year, we came again. And Ronnie wasn't there to promise us that we'd get Elliot, and we didn't get Elliot. So we came up to our site, and we had friends all around, So it ended up with 4 friends. One over here, a woman going this way, and one over here said this way. And it was a riot. It went on and on and on. And finally, Bill, who was a buddy, he was over there trying. And he just walked away, and I was waiting in the truck right by them to get in there. And he came by and he said, "It only takes one person to get in that space, and it's me." And he quit. So we've been coming here enough years to be native. We love you.
It's okay, I'll take care of you while so sick. Backing up on that, I seen one time, and I'm sure some of y'all seen some stuff, not as much as we have. But Mr. Corbett stood outside somebody's truck, like they were in the driver's seat. He sticks his hand into the steering wheel, backs them right on up. Like butter.
Did that,
Huh? He did that to you, was it you? I get such a kick out of it. People would book sites in here. You know, some of them ain't real big, and big shocker. And they get here, so I don't know if I can get in there. I don't know if I can get in there. And I'd ask Mr. Corbett, I can get him in there. I'd do that, no problem. Have somebody call and book E12 with a 35-foot fifth wheel. He'd say, I can get him in there. And he could. Boy, Mr. Corbett could do anything. I don't know what's going to happen here without Mr. Corbett, but I don't think it's going to run properly. I can't imagine anybody that could fill those shoes. When I started here and I met Mr. Corbett for the first time, I was like, oh, he's just the cutest little man. Look at him. You can't help but want to adopt him as your own. And ain't that right? And then I got, you know, Miss Wilda. Y'all two are so precious. You really are. I got to know him over the years, and after a few years of being here, we found out he was turning 80 back then, maybe 75, something. I ain't gonna count if you ain't. And we had a little surprise party for him in the office, and we got him a cake and everything, and that man stood there and started tearing up, and I just turned into a baby right there. Like, that's it, I'm done. You can't make him cry, because I'm going to lose it. You just can't. He gives the best hugs. Do you remember when Amanda worked here? And every time he would come into work to get his paperwork, he would walk into a round of applause because we were so happy to see him that he was taking over and we could go home. And he said, that's the best way to come to work. So we'll have to give you an exit applause, I'm sure, just so you can remember. But I've always said, you know, the Corbett's, they're mine. And when I left here, I gave people very strict instructions. If any devastation happens on this island, you must get the Corbetts out, because just like Betty White, they must be saved at all costs. Now we call Betty White. Y'all really need to step it up, okay? Okay. Just because y'all are going off the island don't mean you're going far. I'm going to find you. Don't you? I still got y'all's picture up in my office. Look at it every day. So they ask me who that is. I say, that's my grandparents. That's right. Sweet people. Anybody else got any stories? Come on up.
I'll be lazy and stay here.
That's fine.
I'll just be short. I was one of those northerners. I would be Canadian probably, but they wouldn't let me in. But I'm way up there.
No way.
They got standards. They wouldn't let me in. Anyway, I'm one of those folks that when Ronnie would come back from his trip up to the Northeast to kind of, you know, advertise this campground and come back with this plastic thing, and he said, well, what's this for? I let him know it was for scraping the ice. And so I would say, well, what's that? But the other reason it just came up when you were first talking about Ronnie giving you the 100 hours. I was a math teacher. That's, you know, at 40-hour weeks, that's 2.5 weeks. I don't know if it was the goodness of his heart, because he knew that work would be really peaceful and quiet.
It was probably that. I used to always tell him my vacations were just as much for him as they were for me. Don't worry.
It's been a pleasure too, Ronnie, having you, your hospitality and the way you treated the guests, all of us. It was remarkable.
Good, thank you.
All right, I'm going to start showing up to y'all with a microphone if you don't stand up and say you got a story. Working in customer service ain't real easy, you know.
Hi, Ronnie.
Step up.
Amber, right here.
I can see you.
I can't stand up. Just for Ronnie, right?
Or Corb, either one.
Ronnie always used to tell me to close the door when I left. Is it on? Okay. To close the door when I got across the border. Because he didn't want any cold here. Well, Ronnie came to Canada once. And you remember well.
Oh, yeah.
We had an RV show. So we were meant to meet up the night before. And the Anger was Alan Annette, and Paris's Bill and Diane, and Sharon, and Judy, and we all went to the restaurant, and we waited. And we waited. And we waited for Ronnie. Eventually, Ronnie showed up. He had to change his hotel room because it was too hot.
Go ahead, Joe.
I got a little story about Mr. Corbett. I think it was our second year here, and we were over on G, and this guy came in with his rig, and he gets out, and he's got a big pickup truck, and he's got a big trailer, and he's gonna park it right across the street from us, and he's looking at that, and he's like, not gonna happen. So Elliot let him in, and at that time, his wife used to ride with him. He put her up in the cab, and she backed it in. I'm sitting, and he's just standing by the door going, a little bit left, a little bit right, okay, straight back. She backed it in. And the guy says, this is a marriage saver.
I was going to tell the same story about Mr. Corbett because I was shocked. Because when we come and Doug has to back in, I just go someplace else until he gets it backed in. And Mrs. Corbett just got in the truck, and just backed it right on in. Wow! But I did want to tell a little story. We're talking about Ronnie being good-hearted. When we were down here, I got sick and I had to go into the hospital. I was in there for about 7 weeks. He called every week to check on me and called me from Quebec where he was doing a show just to check to see how well I was doing. And so to me, that always touched me because I said, yes, I mean, people that, know you and your parents call about you, but to have Ronnie call, it just meant a lot to me, so I owe him a lot.
When it comes to customer service, you can't find anybody better than you would have found our crew at Jekyll Island Campground, and I think most of you would agree. I'm not just tooting our own horn. Well, yeah, I am. But, I remember when I was back in 2005, I think it was, I was working, and a guy comes in the door. I don't know who he was, but he was very dirty. His clothes were dirty, his face was dirty. He looked very defeated. And he said, I'm not staying here, but can I take a shower in your bathhouse? I said, of course you can, go ahead. Well, how much do I owe you? And he's pulling out what little bit of change he had in his pocket. And I said, oh, don't worry about it. We'll cover it. I know Ronnie will be fine with it. And I knew he would be. So the guy left, never saw him again. 3 years later, that man comes back into the campground and he hands me this tiny little golden frog. And he says, I don't know if you remember, but you let me take a shower in your bathhouse one day. He says, I was homeless and I didn't have anything and I just needed to clean up. He said, you were so kind to me and I want you to have this as a token to remember to always show kindness and compassion. And that's real, and I'm sure Ronnie's got 100 of those stories because I know there's times people will come in. Y'all know in the wintertime, these lines get from his office, I mean, almost out the door. Everybody's there to see Ronnie. And you can hear them. And in there laughing, Ronnie's got that real distinctive laugh. I swear you can hear it from a mile away. You can hear him in there laughing. Somebody would go in there mad and they'd come out happy as a clam because he just smoothed everything right on over. That's just what he did. And I never knew anything about customer service. I worked in it, didn't know anything about it, until I came here and started working with Ronnie because he says we have to go the extra mile for these people so they'll keep coming back. We have to show them the Southern hospitality. So I know there's more Southern hospitality stories. Over here.
This is kind of a story about Southern hospitality, but I'm actually going to defer to my husband. I think he could tell it. This is about the boys and the lampposts. Brian?
Wow.
end up is a lot sharper than he appears. In between he and those state troopers that hang around here, if I were you. Anyhow, we used to have what they call frisbee contest over here on the soccer fields. And they came from all over the United States, really. Small colleges, large colleges. And some of these guys in the evening tend to have a mint julep or whatever. And then their mind goes a little blank. And they noticed that hanging in front of our sites were these signs. Well, on my college wall, my dorm, they would look perfect. I don't know how many they took, but they made one mistake. They took Ronnie Douglas' sign. Now, you want to kick a gorilla in the leg, that's a good start. When he finally found out, the kids had already left. And so he met with the trooper, and the trooper said, well, I know how to get him. And they cooked up this plan and said, you left something personal in here, and you better come back and get it. They said, well, it's just mostly guns. No. You must be missing something from your wallet. So he said, where are you? Exit whatever is up on 95. And that trooper radioed a number of troopers. And I'm betting those kids thought they committed a crime far worse than stealing a sign. They brought him in and chatted with him. The smartest thing they did was, usually you put them in jail. They said, no, we're not going to do that. Let's make them do something. So that summer, the next summer, they had to go to the state park. I don't know what they dressed them in. And they had to do all of the work that the state park ranger wanted them to do or go to jail. Their parents were not real whipped up about going to jail. And I think some of the dads thought, great experience working in the state park and doing something for others. So Ronnie, at least one good idea came out of all this, didn't it? Did you enjoy it?
About the signs?
No, about the sign.
Oh, yes. Enjoyed it very much.
Have you ever told that story?
Many times.
He's a good guy.
Speaking of RV shows, there was a hurricane on Jekyll Island. Ronnie was supposed to go to an RV show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. He couldn't go. He had to stay here. So he called the individuals who were going to help him at the RV show and asked them if they would please, Sharon and Judy, will you please receive the pallets with all of the information and the equipment and set it up and run the RV show for me. Well, what are you going to say? You're not going to say no to him. So we got the pallets and we talked to the people at the Hershey Convention Center and we said, okay, how do we do whatever? We got everything where we were supposed to be in our little cubicle area, unpacked everything, and started laying things out on the table. We got the table all set up and we got all the materials out, and then there was this television. And there was this strange piece of iron stuff that you're supposed to put together to hold the TV and the monitor and everything for the little DVD player. So I had most of it together, but there were a few pieces that I couldn't quite figure out. So we called Ronnie. It's like 10 o'clock at night. So Ronnie, I got this piece. I don't know what to do with it. How does it go together? Well, I can't see it. I said, well, okay, Judy's going to take a picture. We're going to send it to you, and then you can look at it, and then you can tell us how to put it together. Ronnie says, I can't do that. I can't look at a picture and send it and talk on the phone at the same time. I said, yes, you can. If we can do this RV show, you can do that. Fortunately, everything came out well, and we did the RV show, and we were very grateful to have the opportunity. Very grateful.
About his phone. You know how many times this man brought his phone to the front and says, it's not working, fix it. He really didn't, but you know, as I got older, then I had to start looking for the younger ones to step in because I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't know if you've seen, we've had several old employees that have graced us with their presence tonight. I won't call them out, but they're here. Some of them didn't make it. See, Marina's late in true Marina fashion. I don't think she's ever been on time in her life. I see that Mr. Cornell Harvey has now joined us. It's nice to have you here. And I know you would like to speak and really give him a hard time, and I'd love to hear it.
It's kind of hard to stand behind a podium. I'm so used to being out front, I guess, walking around a little bit. I'm Cornell Harvey. I was the Human Resources Director here at Jekyll Island, the Jekyll Island Authority, for years. And I believe Ronnie and I came around about the same time, years ago. I don't have any bad stories to tell about Ronnie because Ronnie is a stand-up guy. I mean, he's always been the person who had good integrity. Now, it could be because he was a Marine and I was an Air Force guy. I don't know. But, we still had some good times. But I tell you this about Ronnie is that I remember there was a time when Jekyll Island Authority wasn't paying their employees that much money. I remember, and Ronnie would talk to me about it, and I said, yeah, I understand. I said, but give us some time, we're gonna try to make it up, But Ronnie still hung in there, and he still said, because of what he wanted to do. And then Ronnie came to me one time, he said, Cornell, he said, I wanna make this the best campground in the United States. I said, Ronnie, why don't you make it the best campground in Glenn County? He said, no. I said, no. I want to make it the best campground in the United States. And Ronnie set out about doing that. And how he did that basically was because he started treating people, he treats people fine anyhow. He always does that. With a friendly face and friendly smile always. So people started coming back and people started talking about Ronnie, talking about coming to this campground and what it does and how people make other people feel. Ronnie started having get-togethers and all other kind of things. And he just started making it, this is your home. When Ronnie did that, his stock started rising up real high, real high. And I believe he got the pay he should have got a long time ago. If he didn't, they shortchanged it, buddy. But Ronnie was always a good friend of mine. Always will be a good friend of mine. Because of how he treated me. He treated me with kindness and respect. And that's how he did everybody. What a great man. I'm telling you, what a great, great man. Ronnie asked me to come back and speak at the Marine Corps anniversary 1 year. Now that was kind of funny because I'm an Air Force guy. Come on. So I tried to go find all the Marine Corps values and all kind of stuff like that. I tried to get all that together, but Ronnie knew I was not a Marine. But he still let me speak. So I was so grateful for that. So grateful for that. Again, this guy is a stand-up guy. He's one of the best. That's why I will always call him my friend. And he's always welcomed me. And he's always welcomed you all. He's always got a smile. Even though we got something tough and bad to say, he still got that same old demeanor, Now I really think it was his size too, because he intimidates people with his size. He speaks soft, but he's like this here. Great guy, you all. Sad to see you. Well, not sad to see you retire. I retired from here, so you got to come and do the same thing. Same thing.
Go fishing now.
So, it's good to see you. God bless you. God bless you, Ron.
too well, and I really think you should be getting a trophy or a medal or a diamond or something. Something. Anybody else? Come on.
Actually, I have a story about Mr. and Mrs. C and then also about Ronnie, but a little bit has been said about Mr. and Mrs. C about how they would do, move campers together. But they were a team. There was she wasn't just like riding along with him. She was in that cab, and with very little, they worked so smoothly together, and they have always been for me just such an example of goodness and good Southern hospitality, and it was amazing to watch them work together. And Mr. C, one time, there was a lady, I'm usually up in the C section, and there was a lady across, and that's what, is that F, H? F, right? Okay, well, it was a really hard site to get into. And this lady, it was her first time going out with a camper by herself. She had lost her husband. She was really scared, and luckily I got to talk to her when she first was coming in. And I said to somebody, I can't remember who, I said, can you go find Mr. C? Because this lady's really scared. And Mr. C, she said, oh, you're gonna park my camper for me? And he said, no, I'm not. She said, I'm gonna show you how to park it. And all he did with his gentle speaking and a few gestures, he got that lady into that site. And afterwards, she had so much confidence, and she was so happy and thrilled that she did. She told me, I can't believe I did it. I don't know how I did it. And he just knew what she needed, and he did it, for her. And that changed her life. And I bet she went on to go to all kinds of campgrounds and do fine, because of that moment. As to Ronnie, a lot has been said tonight about how he is so helpful to people and his Southern hospitality, but some of us really know he goes the extra mile. Things happen in your life, and you can't get here when you expect to. And Ronnie would always be so gracious, and he'd like, we'll make it work, Mrs. Smith, and so many people, I know there's so many people that aren't even here anymore who are so grateful to Ronnie, because when you're going through a crisis and you call here and you can't get here when you're supposed to, and he says, oh, we'll make it work. And my husband, who was departed in 2019, back in 2014, he, as he put it, he and the ladder slid off the rig the week before we were leaving. And he ended up in the hospital, partial hip replacement, and we needed to stay down here to have his rehab. Well, I'll tell you, and it wasn't just Ronnie, it was Miss Amber too. They made it happen that we could stay on that site, and the PT people came out here, and we and Jeanette and Bob Pettingill and Joyce and Richard were the only ones at the end of April left here from the winter campers. And I'll tell you, it got really depressing after a while, waving to people as they left, and there was like nobody left. But, Ronnie, he always, whether it was leaving, whether it was coming, he was always right there for you and making sure it would happen. And my husband passed in December 2019, and I came down in January. I came late. We were supposed to get here at the end of November, and I had to change the time twice. And when I got home to my New York sign, signed by everybody. Ronnie made sure it got there right before me. And I also, and I know this is about Ronnie and Mr. C and Mrs. C and all, but I also came home to a message on my machine, because everybody knows somebody else here. All it was, Laura, did you get home? And that was from Barry Strickland. Barry called and just left me a message. So thank you, Ronnie. I'm so glad I got my Ronnie hug tonight and my Miss Amber hug. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. C. and Sue Allen. It's been such a pleasure knowing you.
I know most of you don't know me. I'm usually here in the summer and the fall, but been knowing Ronnie for a long, long time. We came down here on our very first trip and camped for a week, and we felt at home like a lot of other people had talked about. Over the years, this did become our home. We came down, we were spending 3 months of the year at least, and other times through the years, you know, a week here, a week there. We got to know Ronnie, and he asked us to start going to some of the RV shows with him to promote the island. And fortunately or unfortunately, we were very good at it. The place started filling up, and one of the last shows that we worked, Jay and I would settle the island. Oh, this is the greatest place to be. Tink and Paula would get to the side and say, you don't want to go there. Don't believe a word they're saying. But after a while, like I said, we worked several shows with Ronnie. And one summer, he called Jay and I and said that his wood supply was down. The winter woodchucks either didn't cut enough wood or they had a sale on it during the summer. And he was just about out of wood. So Jay and I came down, and Ronnie got us set up in the back. We couldn't start early in the morning. We had to wait until everybody was awake. I don't understand that. We got started, and we would chop wood and split wood and things back there all day. And it got blistering hot back there in August, let me tell you. But one of the afternoons, we were back there and we were sweating and doing our thing. And Jay walked in front of the wood splitter. And he stood there in the exhaust and he said, come over here. I said, why? He said, it's cooler here. We've had a lot of great times with Ronnie and a lot of people in the room. And I want to say thank you to you. Thank you for everything.
My name is Paula Gibbons, and like Dwight said, we usually work in the summer and in the fall, so a lot of people don't know us, but then a lot of you do. But we worked as a camp host for several years, and one particular time that I remember, Ronnie called a staff meeting that morning, and all of us went in, and he said, he told us the regular stuff, and then he said, and another thing we need to talk about is, y'all don't have the right to stop anybody in the campground. You're not law enforcement, you're not police. You can, if there's a problem, you need to report it to me. And he said, okay, we didn't have a problem with that. And so Jay and I actually weren't on duty that afternoon. So we were taking our little golf cart out, going to go ride around. About that time, Ronnie called us on the radio, and for some reason we had a radio in our golf cart. I don't know why. But anyway, he said, have y'all seen that kid riding around in the golf cart? Several other kids with him. And I said, hot riding around, running people off the road, just being a general menace. We said, yeah, I see him right now. He's up there behind the laundry. Okay, Ronnie says, okay, well, I've called State Patrol. Don't let him leave the island. I mean, don't let him leave the He just told us we don't have authority to stop him. But unfortunately, we didn't have to do anything. The kid sat right there, and the State Patrol got there, and boy, was he in trouble. Yeah, he talked after Ronnie.
Honey, don't worry, he used to give us a morning meeting every single morning, whether we needed one or not. And I got told to not do a lot of things. I didn't listen though. Who's next?
Some of you probably, I don't need a microphone. Some of you probably already know this story, but when I first got here and started hosting, Ronnie gave me the bathroom duty. So I'm in there, I'm slaving, I'm cleaning the toilets and the sinks and everything. And that went on for a little while. He comes up to me one day and says, "Well, Rob, I got you a heifer." I looked at him, northern puzzled look, and what the hell's a heifer? He goes, "Something to hem me out." I said, "Well, geez, Ronnie, thanks." Then I got to tell Mr. Corbett and Mrs. Corbett, I have so much respect for those two. I cannot call them by their names. I asked him one day, and this goes with you, Amber, I asked him one day if I could call him Grandpa. And he looked at me and said, "Bob," he said, "you can call him anything you want." And, that's it.
You know, Ronnie, from what I hear, there's a lot of perks to being old and retiring.
I'll let you know.
Well, I'll come up with a few. Yeah. You know, one thing about being old and being able to retire is in a hostage situation, you'll probably get released first.
Tried at 95.
There you go. There you go.
95.
Another perk, there's nothing left to learn the hard way. You've pretty much done it all, which is why you bald on top. You're scratching your head your whole life. You probably won't view the speed limit as a challenge anymore. Then again, you might. I do. Also, I bet he stops trying to hold his stomach in no matter who walks in the room. Just saying, buddy. Your investment in health insurance is finally going to start kicking in. So you can thank the authority for that. Your joints are probably a more accurate meteorologist than the actual meteorologist. But what I think is the best part to being old and retiring is you can tell your friends all your secrets because they ain't going to remember them either. Y'all even remember when he had hair on his head, but he did. But I'm responsible for that. So Caleb, I'm sorry to take that away from you. I'm sure you probably did your share, but boy, I really came in these last 20 years and just I got you back there. Don't worry, I got him back. It's gonna be okay. I bet one thing y'all didn't know was that there's two different Ronnies. I'm here to tell you, there's Summer Ronnie. There's Whitney. And all these employees in here know exactly what I'm talking about, too. It ain't got a thing to do with the weather. Not one single thing. I'm going to tell on him, too, because in the summertime, he's not that nice. You know, we got a lot more people that, I say we, I'm like I'm here still. I'm not. I can't help it. There's a lot more people that come in through here in the summertime. You know, holidays, Fridays, we have anywhere from 50 to 120 people checking in one day. And you think that sounds like a lot, but to us it wasn't, you know, because Ronnie would schedule every single employee on the docket that he could. And we'd be sitting around twiddling our thumbs because it was just a well-oiled machine the way he had everything worked out. And it ran that way. But he would be from his office to the front. What are y'all doing? Do this. Don't do that. Put that down. Don't use an orange highlighter. Use a yellow highlighter. I don't want to see a pencil. I want you to use a pen. Don't you scribble that out. You better put one line through it so it still looks nice. And y'all wonder why I dye my hair. I mean, listen. This was it in the summertime. He was on edge, but, you know, I was too, so I can't complain too much, but I still will. So, you know, and finally when Labor Day would hit, he'd get a little bit extra pep in his step. And I said, oh yeah, here it comes. Because he knew y'all were making your way down and he was ready to take a break. And so was I. And I know as soon as I seen the girls, Judy and Sharon, walk in, I can think, Lord Jesus, I can take a break now. come in, and I'm gonna say, he's all yours, ladies. All yours. But no, we always look forward to y'all coming in. I know since I left, I sure as hell miss my hugs. Like, y'all don't know how special that always was to us. The first year I started, and when, I can't even remember who the first one was, it might have been Alan, Annette, and Good, that came in, and Amanda come around the corner and hugged him, and then here comes Ronnie gonna hug him too, and I'm thinking, it didn't take me long to fall right in sync with it, and where I'm at now, I don't get those hugs, and it's kind of why I drink, but you know, it's just the love that's shared here, and it's all based on Ronnie, because Ronnie is the one that pulled it together. When I first came out here, I remember a monthly site was $425 a month. But don't get excited, I ain't gonna go back to that. Just saying. So what, at the end of the year, maybe $500,000-$600,000 profit for a whole year? We could stand out in the front of the store and look clear back to F20 and see it. Because there's nobody here. There's nobody here. And Ronnie went to, I think it was Bill Daly was here at the time, right? Mr. Cornell, you were here. And he said, well, I got to go to these RV shows. We got to go recruit people, get them in here. And they convinced him, and they let him go, and he started going, and I started getting more work when he left. But he filled it up. I mean, look at it now. Now, you call in here, this place is booked up 3-4 years in advance. And it's, well, I don't know what it is now. When I left, I think it was $725, $750 a month. God bless y'all. I got some spots down on exit 7. But you know, Ronnie did all that. You know, this building wasn't even here. And look at this. He made this happen. Y'all don't know it. When y'all used to have your winter guest dinners, your potluck Monday night dinners in a tent with propane tanks to have heat when it was cold, it was Ronnie that was going every chance he could up to the authority offices and telling them, look, we got to have this, we're expanding, we need more. We need more, we need more, and Bill Daly just walked in the door.
I've been here all along.
Listen, I didn't see you, so we won't talk about
You
that.
said all the things I would have said.
I'll get my glasses fixed next time.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
No.
this man, Ronnie, congratulations. He grew this business. So from hospitality, that's it. Simple formula. Right?
Absolutely.
I was the guy that he'd say, I want to go to Cleveland or wherever. You know, we'd look at it and things very early on when the campground was empty, right? And it paid off, sure did. You know? So it was a great, great, great time for me with Cornell and Ronnie, and I'll tell you. And I mean, you guys show, it's proof, really, that this place just went crazy. So, and people come back every year. And it started out with some simple ideas, like, how about getting Wi-Fi? Oh, wait, is that still a story? You didn't do the Wi-Fi? Congratulations, Ronnie, really. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to hear all these stories. I cannot add anything more positive or more negative, really.
I could.
You're doing great. I love your... So, but you know, Semper Fi, I'm not a Marine or anything like that, but I still use it to me. Let's just go take care of business, you know?
That's right.
All right, right.
That's right. I was really hoping that you would come tonight because I ain't seen you.
I was here all night.
I'll find you later. I'll find you later. Listen, but you know, as far just this building, you know, when it got started, you know, your winter guest signs even. That was Ronnie. He went and found this place. He says, you know, let's make him feel more welcome. Let's go the extra mile. He's always told us to go the extra mile. Let's go the extra mile. And he found the winter guest signs. And you know, at first there wasn't that many, so we would order your last names on a sticker. And we would put them on that winter guest sign. And guess what we had to do when y'all left? We had to scrape your names off with a razor blade and a hairdryer. And that was our project for the day. Cleaning and scraping winter guest signs. As much as we love y'all, we hate your signs. You know, and Ronnie had the idea to get the winter guest program put together, where he went, and then he sent some of us around to all the businesses on Jekyll and said, listen, let's give them a discount. They come and they spend their money here. Let's give them some incentive. And we have the cards, and you got your discount at several different places you went. And it was really sad when they all decided not to do that anymore. But, you know, Ronnie put in a lot. All that was Ronnie's idea, and it was his brainchild, and it was Ronnie that pushed the button to make it happen. He drove everybody at Human Resources crazy. I am sure that y'all got tired of hearing about the campground, because that's all he wanted to tell you. He said, you know, we got to take care of these. We got to take care of the employees. We need to pay them more. He pulled for us to get more money. And I know he did. I didn't deserve it because I was a brat, but he still did it. You know, and I'm sure everybody, you would have to agree. If Ronnie wouldn't have been here, this campground would not be what it is today. This winter guest program would not be what it is today. You would not have all the friends and the family that you have, that I have, that he has. If Ronnie hadn't came in and said, send me to these RV shows, let me go find people to come in here, and he brought you all in here, and y'all don't know how grateful that we are that you're here. Each and every one of you, I know I can speak for Ronnie when I say we love y'all, and we love that you come and vacation here on Jekyll Island. But in all reality, it's all Ronnie. Now granted, we didn't like it when he went to the RV shows. Let me tell you why. Because when he went to these RV shows, we would have to print up these little tickets for people to fill out to enter a drawing for a free 7 nights. This man would come back with a stack of tickets like this. And that was our project for the day. I want you to put them in the computer so when they call and make a reservation, it pops up that they were at this RV show, so I can go greet them personally. Yeah, I didn't appreciate it at all. But you know what? That was another touch, because when we would have somebody come in and book from an RV show, Ronnie would go out and say, hey, I just wanted to come meet you. I met you at the Pennsylvania RV show. And they're like, wow, how did he know that? Well, he didn't. He wrote everything down. The man don't remember anything. But that's, you know, and that's part of it. Ronnie's always going to push to have better, and he always pushed me to be better. There was a prime minister in the UK back in the 1800s, and his name was Benjamin Disraeli. If I said that wrong, don't none of y'all fix me on that. And he said, the greatest good you could do for another is not to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. And that is what Ronnie did for me. I was a brat, I was mean, and I didn't want to listen to it, and I didn't want to take it. But he kept on, and he kept on. And he would always say the same thing to me, well, if anybody can do it, Amber, you can do it. I got faith in you. Keep trying. And he would aggravate me to no end. Like, will this man not quit? But no, he wouldn't, because he's a Marine, and he would tell you that. He would tell you it's because he's a Marine, and he is very proud of being a Marine, as you should be. And he would just keep on and keep on and keep on, and it's like, if he doesn't stop. But he wouldn't, so I said, well, I guess I better just get with the program. And he taught me so much, and most of it you didn't even know that you taught me. You know, but I picked up on it, and I heard you. I did, I heard you. And I'm grateful for it. I really am. I mean, I took it with me, and I didn't even know I would when I left it. I'm sorry to say that it took me leaving to understand what you were saying all these years. And I finally get it. And he taught me a lot. And, you know, one of the things that he taught me, and Ronnie, I got you a little gift bag. We'll get back. It's okay, we're going to talk about it. One of the things that he taught me was that Post-it notes are essential. Because telling myself that I'll remember that is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I used to pick on Ronnie all the time about all the Post-it notes on his desk. I mean, you couldn't even tell the color of his desk because there were so many Post-it notes. You know, when I left, and I started managing my own RV park, I called him, I said, Ronnie, I'm sorry. He says, what do you mean? I said, you should see how many Post-it notes I have on my desk. I mean, it's the truth. You know, another thing I learned is I can do absolutely anything that my boss puts his mind to. No matter what that is. You know? Sharpening pencils. Y'all, that was a project that we would have. This man would tell us to go sharpen all the pencils. Everyone. And we had to sign off on it that we done it. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. Every dabbling one. Another thing, and Lana, you're going to appreciate this. Anything can be fixed with a laminated sign. Y'all know how much Ronnie loves his signs. There's like 97 million of them out there. And it's like, and he wonders how come people don't do it. It's like, you see, the sign says stop, and they just keep going. I said, Ronnie, they don't read it. Well, then we need to make it higher. Put it up higher so they can see it. Put it up higher so they can see it. You know, Ronnie, I really didn't know I was such a brat until I started working for somebody that wasn't held back by human resources. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, you could tell he would keep his composure, but I didn't even realize it until I worked for somebody that just would straight up tell me to go to hell. And maybe that's probably what you should have done all these years ago. But Sue Ellen, I got something for you too. You know, you're going to appreciate this. This is going to help you with him being in retirement when he asks you questions. This is going to help you answer him. So this is Sue Ellen's button. So when he comes in and says, honey, can I go fishing? No! Don't worry, I got one for you too. I got one for you too.
Give me a Y, give me an E, give me an S. Yeah!
So you can say, yes, dear. And you don't even have to open your mouth. Look, I'm going to help you in retirement. It's going to be fine. So this is how y'all can communicate. This is how y'all can communicate. It's gonna really be helpful, I'm sure. Ronnie, you know, I'm honored. I'm honored to call you my friend. I'm honored to speak at your retirement party. I'm so glad that you finally get to retire. I really never thought I'd see the day. I really never did. And I really thought I'd be pushing you in a wheelchair doing site check. Well, I didn't think I'd even leave. But, you know, all the things you taught me, I'm going to carry those with me for the rest of my life. And I know I'll never forget them. And I get to the place I'm at now, and I'm like, well, we got it. Ronnie would have done it this way. So let's do it like this. And it got to the point that the new owner that I've got, I'll tell you that story later. The new owner I got, he says, who's Ronnie? And I said, oh, that's the manager I had at Jekyll Island Campground. And he's a friend of mine. He says, well, God, it must be. You want to do everything his way. I feel like I should call him. And it's so true. I try to compare it all to here, and I can't do that because it's a whole different part. And nobody's ever going to be you. And it's just like I'm never going to have a Mr. Corbett or Miss Wilda. And I love y'all so much. I mean, y'all are always going to be in my heart, always. And y'all stay away from her banana pudding. It ain't no good. I'll take care of it for you. Just call me when she makes it. I'll take one for the team. It's going to be fun. We'll get through this together, guys. So, Ronnie, I really am sorry because I don't think you were ever given enough credit for putting up with me. I mean, and all joking aside, guys, I'm cute and charming, I know. But I did not make it easy. I bucked everything this man said, everything. I never gave him one easy day, not one. And I don't even know why. I just came in with my ass on my shoulders and it was just going to be what I said. So, Ronnie, I really don't think you ever were given enough credit for putting up with me. But thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you for pushing me to be where I'm at now. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at now without you. I wouldn't. And I hope you know that. And I'm so glad that I get to have a friendship with you now. Because I hated you as a boss. I love you as a friend. I really, really do. Just know that. You know, there's one thing I did learn, that when you're in your retirement now, you know, regular naps prevent old age, especially if you do them while you're driving. So be careful. So I know that some of y'all have some things that y'all would like to present for Mr. Corbett and Ronnie, and I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to leave you, Ronnie, with one final thing, and this just really just sums it up, and I think you're going to agree with me, and it's a quote from Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Thank you.
Amber, we forgot one thing. Ronnie's got 6 words. Stay on my radar. And a Ronnie shuffle.
I had a Ronnie shuffle at my RV park today.
Kat, you want to come up?
Can I say one quick thing while she's coming up?
Absolutely.
To thank Ronnie. I don't think you realize your vision of the winter guests. We're relatively new, 8 years or so. You gave us a family of folks from all over the country that are more than friends, who help each other. Bad things happen, people are there, good things happen, we rejoice together. You gave us a family that we never would have had without your vision.
I would like Mr. and Mrs. Corbett to come up. Come on. Well, first of all, I'd like to say to Mr. and Mrs. Corbett, we want to all thank you for your kindness and helpfulness over the years. I'm sure I heard the birds sing, please tell the Corbett's we miss them. Thank you for your great care. You are already dearly missed, but we are so happy for you. Enjoy your new home. This quilt will remind you of all your friends and memories from the years at Jekyll Island Campground. As you read the names, please remember us too. Love, the Jekyll Winter Guest.
Oh, beautiful.
Everybody signed it?
They signed it.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful. Yeah.
And Bonnie and I made
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I just want to read something that was left at the campground at the bird park. Somebody left this in here, and this is just what the campground means to a lot of people. To whoever may read this, my mom, Catherine Dine, was an avid birder. Birding was her favorite thing. She lived in Massachusetts, but would often visit me, her daughter in Georgia. This was her most favorite place. She came here to spend much time and enjoy the birds. She passed away of cancer last year. Today is her birthday. She would have been 59. I came here to enjoy what she loves so much. My heart is broken, but I know she lives on through the birds. I hope you love them like she loves them. God bless. And that's thanks to you.
we like the good time.
Sorry, I like to give you that one, so you're left in the bird park.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been nothing but a labor of love. It's been nothing but a labor of love. Ronnie, we've been here a couple of years, I think. Ronnie was here before we got here. He tried to run us off.
I doubt that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
He tried to run us off a couple of times, we wouldn't go, so. Need somebody to take care of the bird sanctuary and back people in. It's been quite a ride, you know. Where else could you live on an island in the Atlantic Ocean? It's such a beautiful place. We've enjoyed every moment of it. And the acquaintances we've made, I can't remember everybody. Can't remember what happened yesterday. We love all of them. It's been a great ride, and we're just so thankful that to have someone like Ronnie leading the way. Ronnie's been a true friend. He's a friend to everybody.
Well, so are you.
We just love everybody, and want to thank you for the years that we've been here and the acquaintances we've made. We thank you.
And I fell and broke my hip here 2 years ago. And they like to have tried. I mean, they were so sweet. The heart was so delicate. I just appreciate it so much. Thank you. And while I'm speaking, I'd like to say that Ronnie amazed me when I realized how he handles problems. When I fell and broke my hip, and before that too, I noticed that whatever problem come up, he just quietly went about and took care of it. He didn't cuss and fuss. At least I never heard it. And he simply took care of it. And it worked, whatever you plan to do. And he also has a knack for hiring good people that come together and things happen. I was supposed to be working, but I couldn't because I broke my hip and had to have a lot of recovery time. He had people in the campground to fill in for me. Jean. Listen, I'm all timers here. Jean, tell me your wife's name. I'm so sorry. Kathy. Okay, I'm nervous and my mind goes blank. Jean and Kathy, they did an awful lot to help. Sue and Rick did. Paula and Jay did. And there's probably others that did that I didn't know. I know that Jimmy did. Anyway, there were others that helped fill in for work. All of them did what they were supposed to do to take care of things that I couldn't do. And we didn't get kicked out. He let us stay. And of course, my husband did a whole lot more around his little golf cart than he would just to make up for what I couldn't do. So there was just a lot of wonderful people that come together. And they've always done it, I'm sure. So I just want to give you thanks for that.
Go to the beach.
It's your turn, sir. It's not your turn.
Well, everybody that's the summer host knows that we have a lot of kids during the summer. And Ronnie will tell us as host, don't let the kids bark on the roads with the chalk. If you see them, ask them not to do it. Don't tell them not to do it, just ask them not to do it. And he would go by and get the parents to clean it up. You know. So now that he's retired, I think this is a very deserving present for Ronnie.
Ronnie, he didn't tell you when you get home, somebody went in there secretly and drew in your driveway.
Well, one, I'd like to thank everybody that came tonight. It meant so much to me. And of course, Sue Ellen, you know, she put up with me for 30-something years.
God bless you.
In fact, our youngest son's here today, Caleb, and it's his birthday. But as Amber said, I know I had a lot of little perks, you know, about you sharpen those pencils. You know, at that time they didn't have the little big pencils. You know, just push and the lead come out. I do not like dull pencils. So we had to sharpen them. But one, I'd like to recognize all my employees that's here tonight and my campground hosts. So if you would stand up, all my hosts has worked for me over the years, and my employees, please stand up. All these people had dealings with me, and that sidewalk chalk is probably going to be one of my pet peeves. And you go by and talk to the parents, they say, "How come?" I said, "Well, this is state property." "Well, they do it at my home." I said, "Well, you're not at home. And you better get it cleaned up. But if you didn't control it, it would get out of hand. And to me, it looks like graffiti. I don't like it. So I know Amber, she did an excellent job tonight. She told me. She only told you a little bit of stuff. But we did, I used to tell people that we're married, but we're not married. We used to argue all the time. She's a very strong-willed woman. Just like my wife, Sue Ellen. And also my parents are here. Mom and Dad, Bob and Lord Douglas. Y'all remember him doing the Elvis trick? You don't want to do that tonight, do you, Dad? And our grandson Hunter's here. But this meant so much to me. I've looked forward to this for many months. And I'm glad that Amber took the challenge on. I know she told me one time that she didn't like speaking in crowds. But you did a good job. You did a good job. Remember, you got to drive home. Oh, you got a designated driver. Okay, I got you.
I'm prepared.
But I appreciate everybody coming tonight. Cornell, thank you for coming. He has been a great friend. Mr. Bill Daly, you know, he manages the Hampton Inn down there. If you got any kin folks and needs a hotel room, call Mr. Bill Daly down at the Hampton Inn. But there's a lot of special people in this room tonight, and I do appreciate everybody that took us a little bit of time to come here and share this retirement celebration with me. There'll be a lot of you folks I won't never see again. I won't see again. Won't be coming to the island for potluck dinners and all that kind of good stuff. But we'll still come for the Christmas parties, right, Sue Ellen? Yeah. Okay. But thank y'all so much for everything. I hope you have a good evening. And I'm gonna turn it back over to Amber.
I'm only going to ask for one more thing because I'm going to be that person. I'm going to get all of you ladies that worked here with me and Ronnie to please come up here. I'd like to take a photo of us so we can have it documented. And then I'd also like to get one with all the...
Just a minute. Please do the thing before you...
No. Just Ronnie the truth. Stand down. She has spoken. There is a song out there.
All right. I just want to briefly share just 3 images that I have of Ronnie. We're relatively new campers. We've been coming to the island for quite some time, but we just started camping about 10 years ago, and I think we moved in next to Ronnie and Sue Ellen probably half a dozen years ago. And one of the first years we did that, we have a little 10-pound dog named Peaches, and you know, in that chaos of unpacking and everything, Peaches got away from us, ran over to next to Douglas's and pooped right in front of her. And the image of Ronnie, you know, gentleness and patience, he just came right over and he said, "Excuse me, Bonnie and Dean, but Peaches just pooped in front of her, and could you know, clean it up?" And so that's one image of Ronnie. Patience, you know, I mean, that is really an irritating thing about here is people who don't take care of their dog's litter. The other thing is just how gentle Ronnie is. You know, he's a big man and that size can be intimidating. Well, you know, when Gizmo joined the family, Gizmo was the little dog, rescue dog, and he was, I don't know, maybe weighed a pound and a half or whatever. And that winter, there were some really cold spells, and you'd see Ronnie with his jacket zipped up and this bulge in the front, and you'd see that wiggling around in there, and then Gizmo's little head on top. And that was Ronnie gently taking care of Gizmo, and you know, when he was taking him out for a walk. And the other is Ronnie's compassion. And the last season we were here, I had some health problems and ended up, you know, having to call the emergency squad a couple times. And when that happens in the campground, you know, you're scared, you're embarrassed, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen in the future. And the last time it happened, I said to Dean, my husband Dean, I said, "Go get Ronnie, just go get Ronnie next door." And the rescue squad was on the way and everything, and Ronnie came up to me, and I was bent over a freezer outside of our trailer and couldn't move, and Ronnie just put his hand on my shoulder and said, "It's going to be okay." And you know, that just helped me calm down, and you know, it all worked out. And that's just the kind of presence you've had for all these people here, and you know, you've made a difference in so many lives. And in that regard, this is kind of picking up on what Lauren was saying. This is for Ronnie and Sue Ellen. Dean and I had a long career in managing camps and conference centers, and we know that it takes the whole family to make it work. The person who's at home taking care of the house and the kids and doing all the errands sacrifices in order for the other person to be on call 24/7. So Ronnie and Sue Ellen, your dedicated work and life here on Jekyll Island has made all of our good memories and special relationships possible. Accept our heartfelt thanks and hopes for a long, healthy, and most blessed retirement. Store, she had a sale rack, and there was a size small t-shirt on there that was not going to fit me. I thought it was perfect for Ronnie. And I purchased it with Ronnie's retirement in mind, and it's been hanging around for a few years. And so this winter, we put it together with another Jekyll Island t-shirt. And this is a quilt that is signed by as many people in the campground as, with Deb Maurer's help, that we could find. And a number of folks got on the phone and the internet and contacted others from around the country to get their permission to sign. And this is a special pattern called layered 9 patches, and it just shows that, you know, the layers of your life, they all impact so many people, and it's all connected. And you're connected with us, we're connected with each other, and all together it makes a quilt that it's a beautiful thing. So when you we ask people, what do you remember about Jekyll Island? The Ronnie Shuffle, RV shows, the store, hosts, hurricanes, volunteers, buffets, going to buffets, pancake breakfast, the history and the stories from Ronnie's dad, going to find shark teeth, just all sorts of things, moon rises, game night, potlucks and programs, the hot dog roast, it goes on and on. So we hope that when you use this, snuggle up with it, with Gizmo, whatever, that you'll remember.
Something I need.
Yeah, Ronnie, how you doing? I've been coming here since 1970, long before you were here. And then you came along, and what I want to talk about is trash. I'm not a complainer. I don't complain about things. But one of the things in 50 years of coming here that irked me was the trash can on the back road and the trash can at the end of the campground out there. Because I used to go by every night with my dog. I'd dump trash in one of those trash cans until I came along one time and the trash can was gone. The trash can was gone at the other end. I never did find out the reason that those trash cans were moved, but it sure as hell irked a lot of people at the end of this campground. That's good to know, because I used to go along collecting poop bags and putting them in where the trash can used to be. And I don't know who picked them up. They were always gone. And one other thing that happened on one of those Ronnie, Pennsylvania trips, I talked to a number of people. Some of them, some of them were weird people. I was telling them about all of the things that were here on this island. Bike trails, walking trails, tennis, golf, 3 golf courses, 3.5 golf courses. And I was telling this guy that, and he rejected every one of them. So the last thing I thought that would pick him up was that we had the Emerald Princess here. You know, if everything else fails, you can go out and gamble. Pay for your camping trip. And he said, I don't gamble. So the only thing I could say was, you know, it's probably best if you stay home. You shouldn't even come to these things. And one other thing that Ronnie will probably remember, this one guy was so enthusiastic about this that I gave him 5 free nights of camping here. And I wrote it down on a little slip. I never thought the guy would ever show up, but he did. And Ronnie had that little slip. I forget what you did about that, but I called you.
No, we just charged his credit card.
That's right. Well, I told him, you know, I know I made a mistake, but I'll pay for the guy. But anyway, long time coming here. I think I know every inch of this island. I know Joyce and I have been all over it. So, in all that length of time. And then along came Andrew. That sounds like a song. Here you go, Ann.
When they're whispering, there's trouble.
No. You know, I can't go nowhere without getting told what to do. I swear, I'm 40 years old, I still get told what to do every time I go somewhere. No, I'm just teasing. No, seriously though, I know we're gonna wrap this up because God knows it's past my bedtime. I want all the employees to come up here. You don't have a choice. Now would be good. Michelle, Samantha, Shauna, Ashley, Martina. You really want me to call your names? Yeah. We're going to take a picture with Ronnie, and then all the hosts, do you really need me to say your names, are going to come do the same thing. And if all the musicians would please get ready, we're going to have a song, and then we're done. So just, it's fine. There you go. Come on, Ronnie's got to get in the middle. Oh, wait. Somebody should probably say I was going to say, somebody should probably take a picture. Here. Well, take it on my Smile pony. You got it, Joey?
I'm telling you, I'm trying to get it perfect.
We're going to switch.
I've got to have one because.
All right, come on, y'all, switch in. Woo! Y'all gotta. Oh my God. We can, oh my God, and hug later. I'm trying to get a picture. We have shit to do. All right. Get in there. Come on. Kathy, keep
You want us to sit?
No, I want you to smile. I got y'all all. I got a wide angle lens. Come on, Mr. Corbett, front and center. In the front. Come on, Mr. Corbett. Y'all got to get a little closer. There you go. No, they don't. I got a wide angle lens. I got it. If you're smiling or not, I'm snapping on 3. 1, 2. Excellent, thank you.
You need to come up front. They can't see you back there.
I can too. Did you?
She couldn't even get over.
Oh, I didn't know you was back. Bless your heart. All right, one more time. Woman, turn around. You're holding up progress. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, listen, I know this is almost kind of like herding cats. If y'all could go just sit back down for just a minute. We've got some wonderful musicians here who've got something that they want to present to Ronnie. I cannot speak about what it is because I don't know.
We have something for you. Wow, just before the song. We have something up here.
Yeah, Ronnie, we've got a special, something that you can rest on in your new home. This is a bench that we made. That's going to be part of your patio or whatever, and it says on there, sit a while and we'll tell you how we remembered it. Thank you, Ronnie and Sue Ellen. Jekyll Island Campground Winter Guests. You're very welcome.
Now we're gonna sing to you. This song is a very familiar song. You'll recognize it, but the words were created by Betsy Schmidt way back when. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. You put your motorhome in, you pull your trailer out, you move your fifth wheel over and you shake it all about. You do the Ronnie shuffle and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Got the beat when you find that you move to J2, then it's soon C18. What happened to my view? You do the Ronnie shuffle, turn your paper upside down. That's what it's all about. You get your firewood chopped, you get your paper at the door, you get your cable and your Wi-Fi and amenities galore. You do the Ronnie shuffle and we're happy to be here, and that's what it's all about. And this one is just because you decided to leave us.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday, 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 someday. Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday. What you say?
Oh Ronnie, you're the top of Marine, run the campground like a well-oiled machine. Now it's time for you to go. Hurts well, tell you so.
That's right, that's right. Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday, 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 someday. Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday. What you say?
Now Ronnie, listen Ronnie, you ain't and me. It's just your time to leave the city. Sold your camper, bought a new house, got your pension, and you got your spouse.
That's right, that's right.
Well, I guess you gotta go. Hit the road. Gonna keep you on our radar, yo.
Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday, 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 someday. Hit the road, Ronnie. You better come back someday.
Oh, what we say?
Why don't you come back someday?
We mean it, Ronnie.
We want you to come back someday.
We have coffee, we have cookies, and there's some soda pop back there, so please help yourself.
Excuse me, people, can I have your attention, please? Folks, can I have your attention, please? Amber Williams, our MC for tonight, worked with Ronnie for numerous years. 18 long years. She departed the campground right in the middle of COVID. And many of us did not get a chance to either thank her or say goodbye. So I had an extra block left from making Ronnie's quilt, and I thought, oh, how appropriate. I took the little extra 9-patch that was in the middle of all of Ronnie's blocks and made it into a pillow for you, because you were such an integral part of Ronnie's success with the campground. And again, we signed it. And we just want you to know that when you have time to rest and lay your head down there, we appreciate everything you did.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. You could have told something from the clinic plan. I've still got that sign. You want that picture I emailed you? It was, wasn't
She sent you some of your texts. Tried this, it's really good. One piece on it.
Thanks for everything. Don't sign that chalk. Get up to Rome over there. What? Get up to Rome over there. Okay, I know where you're at. Thank you. Take care, bud. Thank you.
That depends on which one it was.
Did you have room for one more? Hey, you want to get a camera?
No. I'm done with cameras.
Come on. You got to join us. You got to be a guest.
You know, I think I might have just put on a shirt.
Well, we were thinking of coming down and visiting.
Hey, I'm always there. Always there.
Appreciate it.
Won't be here for Christmas.
Just remember what I said, best job you've ever had.
So does Annabelle. She said she's got to make sure that it's safe. Thank you.
Amber did a good job.
I'm
one of our jobs we did for him.
Good. Glad you're here.
Now you got a house. If you need one of those, call us.
I got you, buddy.
We work cheap.
You sure do. Thank you.